So I'm here to talk to you about a product that I'm working on right now called codenamed Touch. And what Touch is a new product that is going to provide social enablement for OpenText BPM systems. Just so you know, OpenText now has a BPM practice. I am actually part of that. It brings together a lot of the technologies and a lot of the information and the thinking from Global 360 and Metastorm products. So that is now part of OpenText. I'm part of that heritage, and I'm happy to talk to you today. So where Touch came from was basically taking a look at where we thought new businesses were going into and where our workers were. We were trying to engage new parts of the market. OpenText BPM products had excelled for many, many years in capturing the issues of people who were in case management, in process management, in those kinds of fields where people were always on. But what we found was that as we were doing a lot of research into user interaction and user experience, that what was happening out there in the market was that workers were becoming more and more mobile, that there was a lot more telecommuting going on. And so in order for those people to continue to stay productive, to become more productive in dealing with their business problems, they had a lot of different issues that we needed to address. A lot of them tended to center around mobility and also on social interaction, because it kind of comes down to really trying to get more answers to your business problems because you're not an island. I mean, even though our case management templates, our process management applications give you standards and give you guardrails for how you want to do work, there's still going to be instances where you still need to reach out to someone else, learn more, find out something about something you've never seen before. And so you still need to reach out to those people. So you need to tap into that broad network of peers and surface new insight and new ideas. And social seemed to be a great metaphor for that. So that's really what we wanted to do, was provide means of providing that social interaction into that business process case management world where our OpenText products have continued to be very strong. So it's really about leveraging the new metaphor, right? So one of the things that we have is social applications, right? And that's really great for that, user-to-user interaction where I need to find out something, right? So here we are talking to each other, and there's nothing like that. You still need that engagement. And we want to bring that in to your business problem and how you solve that business problem. How can I reach out to somebody else, get some answers, share information? And when that sharing has happened, how do I then capture that within my case so that people understand why I made the decision that I made? So the whole idea here is really to socially enable our case management and process management applications. That's really what we're after here. And one of the ways I like to describe this fairly easily is really that social is the style, but work is the substance. And what we're really all about is really making work better by leveraging social technology. It's not social for social's case, for social's sake. I think we've got great products out there in the market that's been there forever that do that really well, but really bringing those capabilities into your business environment and using that in order to make things a lot better. So we're extending that social networking principle into work. And also what we've found as we started to talk about this with our customers is that what it's really doing is also providing a familiar interface to a new generation of workers. So it's an environment that we're building that makes it very, very comfortable for some of these Gen X, Gen Y workers to be able to communicate with each other, be able to communicate with the business and basically fulfill work. So Here's a little bit about how we do it. Touch is intended to be a cloud-based SaaS type of an environment, and it's going to be connecting with our user community using HTML5, using responsive interfaces in HTML5, also in native iPad and iPad and iPhone environments. One of the things as well is that that's very key to what we want to do with OpenText is that it enables them to integrate and connect to that back-end system. We think that what is interesting about what we're doing with Touch is really that connection to the back end, is the ability to look at work and look at work in a social way. And basically, again, use social to really better engage and better do work. One of the things that's interesting about this, about what this enables us to do, is do things like, for instance, instrument a process or instrument a case, such that when a case or a piece of work hits an exception process or something like that, or an exception that people need to know about, basically engaging the people who need to know that that happened. We can tell people about how the system is performing overall. So if, for instance, maybe we're starting to miss targets on service levels or whatever, we can let people know. So keeping people informed about what's going on in the business. But at the same time, we can also ask people to also better engage in the business through mobile technologies. Some of the things that we can do as well is from that social and from that back-end environment, ask someone out in the Touch world or out in the user community, please provide me some more information about this. Maybe take a piece of work, provide me some additional information about what's going on here. Also, on the other end, perhaps go through and say, if I need to, because I'm a manager who's always on, I need to approve something very quickly, maybe I can get that small piece of work from the back-end process and approve it while I am on the move. So these are things that help people's productivity. But along with that, you want to know, if you've gone off and engaged the rest of the community and you're having conversations that help people know what's going on, how then do I surface that within the context of my case? So to that end, we provide a embeddable component that can be put into a web-enabled application that surfaces information about the case into that processing app. So you have all of the information that you need in order to potentially make a decision. You can use that same embeddable component not just to get information about what's gone before, but also to initiate more conversation, ask more questions, continue to grow the knowledge and the information that's required to do some of this work. So here's some quick examples of how we might use this out in the world. Again, a lot of things around keeping engaged, a lot of things really around the type of issues that happen when you're mobile, in that what you need is, again, very bursty kinds of information in small form factors, because we know even though you've got something like an iPad, which is a great thing where you can surface a whole lot more data, fact is it's probably better for consuming information than creating information. So you basically have more tools and additional ways of being able to communicate with that back-end system. So it happens that that Adam is sitting in a cafe right now, and because of the way he likes to work, and again, one of the things that we want to do is be able to accommodate different styles of different people in different roles, in different situations. We all have those kind of situations where I want to work and interact with things in a little bit different way. So one of the things he likes to do when he's at work is just, let's browse through, let's see what's going on. I've got a lot of stuff going on here, and you're right, it is kind of noisy. But there are a whole class of workers that like to work that way. So in this case, he sees an inquiry here from one of his colleagues, and so she's asking a question, and she wants to know what to do about this particular thing. So he can respond, and again, these are all basic stuff. if he had permission. Okay, I can share, so so she had a question. I might want to bring in somebody that I know could help. So in this case, maybe I want to share this information with someone else who could provide a little bit more color commentary if it was necessary. So I'm going to share this with someone else. If I needed to, which I don't need to right now, I could take a photo. And let's see, yes, of all of you lovely people, and include that. Take photo. I forgot to hit use. Use, yes. So again, pretty simple stuff, pretty normal stuff that you would expect from most social types of applications. One of the things that we did find that we needed to do for Touch is make sure that we hit the mark with social apps, because that's a big part of the people that we wanted to engage, and we knew we needed to do right by all that. So the next thing that I might want to do here is, now that I've looked at that, I'm saying, oh, I've got something here from Anna Gordon. Maybe she's somebody that I care about, I want to think about, maybe I want to follow that person. And as somebody that I want to follow, this might be someone who is a subject matter expert who then could provide me more information about what's going on in the world. I can go through and find out more about Anna, see who she is and decide, oh, do I want to follow her or not? Is she very noisy? Because let's face it, on my stream, when I'm getting that feed of information, sometimes you don't want too much noise. Some people like getting a lot of information. Some people will want it to be a little bit more, little more calm. In this case, it looks like Anna does have some information that might be interesting to me, but she doesn't tweet too often, so I want to. So maybe I do want to follow her. So at this point, then, I'm going to follow her, I think. And at some point, because I'm following her, that should show up in my stream. And of course, because I'm live, that didn't quite work for me. Try it one more time. It's moving. Okay, let's move on. So similarly, someone has, Cynthia Adler here, again, has suggested that maybe I might want to follow California policy. Because I'm actually working in Chicago and I'm actually more familiar with things from the Midwest, but I'm helping out in Chicago, it might be useful for me to go through and do something and get better informed about California policy. So I can accept this, and now that will be coming into my stream when those get created. And then, hang on, let me go back to topics because I wanted to show you something more there. California policy, yeah. So I could also decide, take a look at this again and see who else is following it, because again, maybe because these are people that I know, who maybe I respect, I want to find out who these people are who are following it. So again, more discovery, more understanding about the kind of information that's being pushed at me. So, so in this case, I'm going to actually also decide that I want to pin this to my shortcuts. So rather than just having this available as something that will be coming into my stream where, again, there's a lot of noise, I can actually create a shortcut for it so I can get to it very, very quickly. So here I've got another way of being able to get to that information. Ooh, and it looks like there's a question that I can answer here, even though I'm new to California policy. It happens that Adam spent a few years in Hollywood, and he remembers about this thing about earthquake insurance, but doesn't have the time really to go off and answer it right now, so he's going to favor it so that he can come back later and answer that question. But we can see how the favorites work again. There it is. So that, again, it gives you a way of being able to get to information quickly. So we're providing a lot of different ways for people to customize the information so that they can find it more readily. But what we think is probably most interesting about Touch is its ability to deal with work. And so far, what we've been talking about right now is just information. And again, a lot of things that you're probably used to seeing out there in the social environment. But what's interesting to us is how we deal with work. And again, what we think about as work is appropriate in this kind of a social interaction environment are things that are quick, bursty, focused, very focused information. So we encourage our developers to really think about things in that way. When you're putting things out in that social sphere, you want it to be very, very quick. So in this particular case, it happens that that Adam is in the doctor's office because he plays a lot of tennis and he was having issues with tennis elbow. And so he's in the doctor's office and he says, oh, that's fine, but you hit that magic birthday and it means now that you've got to take a few days off to take a particular test. So he's in the doctor's office. He's managed to go off and talk to the internist to see, what tests he needs to take and how much time. He can then go off and do a PTO request from here. And again, if you think about what a PTO request might include, right, might be involved with in that type of a world, you're typically having to go through and you're having to not just inform people that you're going to be out, but you're also having to do things that that deduct, say, time off accruals. So you've got integration with various payroll systems and employee systems that all have to be checked and balanced and all. So what he's doing at this point is essentially sending a piece of work out to through Touch into the enterprise system environment, into a BPM system that may be dealing with issues of PTO and HR. So here again, what we're doing is we're sending that information forward. So another place where we think it can be interesting as well is when you're dealing with something like something like instrumentation of a process. So in this particular case, what I've got is a back-end system that is looking at the performance of our claims management system. And there's also an analytics system that's associated with that claims system that's looking at various KPIs, various indicators here and there. And we'll go through and on a periodic basis update the community on what's going on out there. And so in this particular case, I've got essentially interest group that I'm calling System Performance that people can subscribe to and get more information. So in this particular case, I'm looking at the claims system and I'm going to basically send a little attaboy note, good job, to my Eastern region group, and I can start looking for Eastern region, and I find that I've got a Canada East group, and I also have, I also have another East group, which is the US East group. And so basically, when I go off and send this out, then anyone who is part of those groups, because those groups are also following that particular topic, those topics, Canada East and US East, will get that information, that little attaboy there. So again, this could be more information. There could be additional information that a manager might want to go off and provide there, or less. So let's take a look then at some of the other things in Adam's stream. One of the things that he's got in here, as you can see now, now BB and now some of those things came in from Anna. It just took a minute there. All right, so what I wanted to do then is I wanted to take a look at, here it is. I wanted to take a look at a piece of work that's been sent to me. So in this particular case, I've got this piece of work in the stream, and it is associated with a particular claim. This is now work that somebody's asking me to do. So because I'm helping out with California claims, I can maybe make a site visit for this particular claim, and that's what I'm being asked to do. So I want to take a look and see what's going on. I open up the posts that have been associated with that particular case, and what I'm finding is that here's the original inquiry from Bruce. But the agent associated with this is saying that this is really hot, it needs some work. The back-end system has gone off and flagged this as a particular piece of work that is critical. It's starting to go out of compliance and needs attention. So, wow, yes, I need to get into this. So let me take a look at what I can do here. So within this particular case, they also send me a link on a Google link here, and I can go through, and it will show me where this particular property is. I can go in and, given my location, get directions on how to get there, and then, yeah, right. And so then Google has given me the information on how to get there from Asilomar, and it looks like it'll take a little time, 44 hours. And then, so again, I've got live links in there that I can use in order to provide more information to that processor. We can close this. And I can continue on with that. Oh, but one thing I did want to do before I left is I wanted to follow this claim. One of the things that, again, we do think that's very interesting about this, about the touch system, is the ability to treat work as if it was a first-class social entity. So the fact is that we can go through and follow this. So now anything that happens on this case will now become part of my social world. So I will get that as part of the stream, as part of the news feed that comes to me. But again, that can be pretty noisy, and I might, it's possible I might miss something. So I'm also going to pin that to my shortcuts. So we see it here, and there's my claim again, and I can actually go in here and say to John, because I know he gets kind of nervous, I'm on it. Oops. And post that out so that he can see that. So that's a lot of what I wanted to show. I wanted to show you one other thing, and that is our embeddable component. And, oops, 3. Okay, so here, you see that I've got exactly the same kind of interaction here on a landing page. This is basically a little bit of a mashup here. What I've done basically is had an application created with essentially a background of what we would call a landing page for our processors. And then within that, we've put in a little iframe that houses our embeddable component that provides all of those social capabilities that you just saw. So from within here, I could go through and check, I could respond again to Cynthia. I could go through and look at various topics or various streams, so I could actually go through and favorite this again or comment one more time on what's going on here. Again, all of those things are available to you in a web-based application from within that embeddable component. But what's also very interesting is being able to look at this within the context of an actual case. So in this particular situation, this should be pretty similar to what John Williams might see on his own desktop. And so from here, given that I should have responded back to him, you can see here that basically Adam said, I'm on it. And so that now John knows that somebody's working on it. So again, a lot of the capabilities from a social perspective coming into this application environment. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you.